that you're looking, can you hear me now? I hear that you're looking, I hear that you're looking, I hear that you're looking, can you hear me now? You can't hear me.
Yo, what's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Mr. Vaughn, and I'm back. Week 3, Mr. Vaughn's Sweatbox Locks of the Week. NFL Week 3, baby. Let's not waste no time. Let's get right into it. We got a full game of schedules. A lot of divisional games going on this week. Let's get into these picks, man. Game 1, San Francisco with Cincinnati. This is a tough game to pick. Neither team has looked great, but both teams have looked better than a lot of people thought. Cincinnati's at home, Frisco's on the road. I'm going to have to go with Cincinnati on this one. I think Cincinnati gets this one 21-10. He started out like that. Jacksonville, Carolina. Shouts out to my man Cam Newton. Back-to-back 400-yard games. First rookie to do that ever, I believe. I believe ever. And they got Jacksonville, who's 1-1. Carolina's 0-2. Even though Cam Newton's had those great games, they're still 0-2, but they've had some tough games to start off with. They're at home. Jacksonville is 1-1. 0-1 on the road. I think Carolina gets off the schneid, and they get the win in this one. I think 27-20. Detroit, Minnesota. Detroit has looked good. Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford are for real. Javad Best, and of course, and Dominic Sue on the defensive side of the ball. This Detroit team is good, people. Do not sleep on Detroit. But I think Minnesota gets off the schneid this week, and I think they're going to get this one. I think Donovan's going to come out and put up some big numbers. And, yeah, I think they're going to get this. I think Minnesota gets this 34-30. I think that's what's going to be, 34-30. They put up some points. Both teams are going to put up some points. Denver, Tennessee. Hasselbeck, my boy Matt Hasselbeck. Shouts out to Matt Hasselbeck. He's been playing well down in Tennessee. They're 1-1. They got the big win over Baltimore last week, and they're at home against a Denver team that's just, I think I'm going to give Tennessee the edge on this one. I think the home team gets this one. I think Hasselbeck throws for like 2 touchdowns. And I think we're going to see Chris Johnson break out and have a big game this week. So I think Tennessee's going to win this one. I'm going to say 28, and Denver gets 17. Miami, Cleveland. Miami's 0-2, and they're on the road against a Cleveland team that's 1-1. This is a tough game to call. Miami did not look, they haven't really looked that good. They haven't looked that bad. Cleveland looked okay. This is a tough game to call, but I actually think Miami's going to get their first win on the road. They're not a bad road team, and I think they're going to get this. Cleveland's not too great. Peyton Hillis, they still got some issues at quarterback a little bit. Not really, but I think Miami's going to get this done. I think Chad Henney's going to surprise some people. I think Reggie Bush is going to do some things. I think Miami gets this one. I think they get it 24-21. It's going to be a pretty close game. Field goal separation. Giants, Philadelphia. Mike Vick, it looks like he's going to play. Dealing with that concussion, it looks like he's going to play, but the Giants are just so banged up after they lose Hickson for the season. I mean, man, they are banged up. And while I do think the Giants front four is going to be able to put some pressure on Mike Vick, I just don't think it's enough. I think Philly's actually going to win this pretty easily. I think it's going to be Philadelphia 31 and the Giants 21. 31-21 Philadelphia. New Orleans, Houston. Houston is going to have a test on their hands. 2-0, but they've played some pretty bad teams. They faced that Indianapolis team in week 1, and Indianapolis just looks bad. But New Orleans, man, coming off a good win off of Chicago last week. They're at home again. I think New Orleans is going to get this, and I think how impressive has the New Orleans offense looked? They've looked good. And I think Drew Brees and company keeps it rolling this week, and I think they get a big win over Houston in what's going to be a little bit of a shootout. We all know New Orleans gives up a lot of points, but they score a lot of points too. So I think this one's going to be a big one. I think New Orleans is going to put up 40 points, and I think Houston's going to put up 35. So they're going to come up just a little bit short. So I'm going to say New Orleans 41, Houston 35. That's my pick. New England and Buffalo. Buffalo, another surprising 2-0 team, taking on New England. 2-0, 3-2-0 teams sitting at the top of the AFC East. Shout out to the AFC East. But man, I mean, I think New England's just going to be too much to handle. Buffalo's look good, Ryan Fitzpatrick, but I think New England's going to be too much. They're going to end the Buffalo win streak at 2 games, and New England gets this. I think New England gets this 37-24. Baltimore, St. Louis. I mean, St. Louis had a brutal schedule out the gates or what? Man, this is just going to be a tough game for St. Louis. I think Baltimore is going to be really upset about that loss in Tennessee last week. And St. Louis is still banged up. They still got a lot of players missing. I'm not sure if Steven Jackson's going to play. I think Baltimore gets this. I think Baltimore gets this 21-17. Jets at Oakland. This is my upset of the week. It's going to piss people off, but I actually think Oakland's going to beat the Jets. Oakland has not. I mean, they went up into a tough Buffalo place, and they put up some numbers and almost beat Buffalo, but now they're back home. They can run the football in Oakland. They can run the football in Oakland, and that Jets defense is going to get tested. Yeah, I think it's not going to be pretty, but I think Oakland gets this. I think it's going to be 17-10 Oakland. Kansas City, San Diego. I mean, the Chiefs, they look bad. They lose Jamal Charles for the season. It's a bad day in Kansas City, and they got the San Diego Chargers, who were steaming after that loss to New England last week, and they're at home. San Diego is at home. Not looking good for Kansas City. I think San Diego gets this. I think San Diego gets this 30-17. I really don't think it's going to be that close. Green Bay, Chicago. Chicago, they looked okay, but Green Bay, man, they look like they're just hitting their stride. I mean, they're looking like a tough team to beat. Cam Newton threw for 400 yards against them, and they still beat them. Aaron Rodgers is a great player. I don't want to take nothing away from him. I think Green Bay's going to get this and move to 3-0 and remain undefeated. Green Bay's going to win. They're in Chicago, too. Chicago's going to, but I think they're going to take advantage of Cutler. Cutler, who's, once again, getting abused and getting beat up. The Chicago O-line can't protect anybody. So I think Green Bay gets this, and I think it's going to be Green Bay 24, Chicago 21. Arizona, Seattle. I think Seattle gets off the schneid this week. We got Sidney Rice coming in. He's making his debut, our home debut. The Seattle fans are going to be raucous. It's going to be loud. It's going to be rocking. Kevin Cobb and Larry Fitzgerald, they're not going to be ready for it. I think Seattle gets this. Not going to be nothing fancy. I think Seattle puts up about 21 points. Arizona puts up 14. So Seattle over Arizona, 21-14. Atlanta, Tampa Bay. This is a tough game to call, too. That NFC South is a tough division. Tampa Bay does not look like the same team that won 10 games last season. And Atlanta doesn't even look like the same team. I mean, Atlanta, they would have lost that game. Let's just be clear. Atlanta loses that game if Vic doesn't get hurt. But they won, so I'm not hating. They put up a lot of points. But I think Tampa Bay's defense is going to be tough. I think Tampa Bay's defense is going to tighten up on them. And I think Tampa Bay wins this. I could be wrong, but no. I mean, people are going to hate me, but yeah, I think Tampa Bay is going to win this. And I think Tampa Bay wins it 17... I'm sorry, no. Atlanta's going to score 17. I think Tampa Bay is going to do about 27. 27-17 Tampa Bay. Pittsburgh, Indianapolis. Indy's not going to win. I mean, this team is going to be so bad until Peyton Manning gets back, and by then I think it might be too late. They're going to drop to 0-3. Pittsburgh is going to get this. I think Pittsburgh gets this. The Indianapolis offense isn't going to be able to do much. Pittsburgh gets this 24-10. And that's the Sunday night game. And that's the Sunday night game. Pittsburgh, Indianapolis. So I think what I said, Pittsburgh 24, Indianapolis 10. Yeah. The Monday night game, Washington Redskins versus the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas was 1-1. This is their home opener, man. Washington's look good at 2-0, but I don't know, man. I mean, it depends on if Tony Romo plays, and it looks like he's going to play. Even with that fractured rib, I think Tony Romo and those guys should be able to get it done at home against the Redskins. I think Rex Grossman's going to have a regression. I think he's going to throw a couple picks in this game. And I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to capitalize, and they're going to win. And they're going to win big. I think it's going to be 28-17, Dallas Cowboys. So there you have it, folks. I tried to keep it short this week and get all the picks in and get them good. It's your boy, Mr. Von, Sweatbox Entertainment. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Von Sweatbook, at Mr. Von Sweatbox. Follow me on Twitter, y'all. Hit me up on Facebook. Just Google your boy, Mr. Von. I'm all over the net. You know how we do. Week 3. All my people out there with your picks, good luck. And I will holler at y'all next week. This is Mr. Von's Sweatbox Locks of the Week. Peace.